Pot Limit Omaha tips. Transform your game overnight. Pot Limit Omaha is an exciting game that has been gaining great popularity because it brings an alternative to the much harder Hold'em poker game. Because Hold'em is considered the Cadillac of poker games and the most difficult one to play and win, Pot Limit Omaha allows the players to play more freely and increase their chances of winning with the possible hand varieties of the game. In this video, we share with you 10 important Pot Limit Omaha tips to help you play the game better, know what hands to play, basically increase your chances of winning, because that's what's important besides enjoying the game, right? We don't cover here the rules of the game and how to play it, so you have to know how to play the game. In this video, we only bring you tips to improve your game and see immediate results. Let's begin. Pot Limit Omaha is not Hold'em. These are two entirely different games, so don't try to transfer concepts from Hold'em to Pot Limit Omaha. Most people that play Pot Limit Omaha actually come from a Hold'em background, because a lot of players start with Hold'em and later search for other poker variants. Many players often try to copy certain ideas and concepts from Hold'em to Omaha, and that's a huge mistake. The rules of Pot Limit Omaha and Hold'em do resemble a bit, but you have to remember these are two entirely different games. If a certain strategy worked well for you in Hold'em, don't automatically assume it will work in Pot Limit Omaha as well. Select the right game for you. Many poker players choose to play Pot Limit Omaha because you can find here softer games which are easier to enjoy from. You can definitely find some good games out there, but you need to pay attention to game selection. That means not jumping to the first seat that opens. If you're new to Pot Limit Omaha, don't get involved in games where experienced players play, because you'll almost certainly lose your money. Thank you for choosing to watch our video. If you enjoyed so far, please like it and subscribe to support our channel. We truly appreciate it. Also, visit our site to claim great bonuses, take advantage of our promotions, check the best and hottest casino games today. Now, let's continue. Take some time observing the tables, check out the average pot size, the number of players to the flop, see if the game is aggressive, if there are a lot of bluffs, or maybe it's a tight game. As all these factors will help you understand if the game is good for you. Know the best Omaha starting hands. If you want to win the game on the long run, you have to know the best hands of the game by heart. Learn the top 20 or 30 starting hands by heart. It will make your first few sessions much easier. The best Pot Limit Omaha starting hands are those that have a big pair in them and some connectedness that allows them to improve post-flop. Example, King of Spades, King of Hearts, 8 of Spades, 7 of Hearts. The following pictures shows the 30 best Omaha starting hands. Don't play with weak hands. When you first start playing Pot Limit Omaha, the temptation to start playing immediately is great. You can end up playing too many hands, especially if you're transitioning from Hold'em. Because you start the game of Omaha with 4 cards instead of just 2 as in Hold'em, it may seem like almost every hand is good enough to see the flop with. But that's exactly where you're wrong. You should avoid playing with weak hands and stay away from them as much as possible. Hands containing low, disconnected cards belong to the trash category in Pot Limit Omaha. These hands have very little potential to flop big, and even when you make a rare nuts on the flop, your hand will be very susceptible to all sorts of turns and rivers. So, remember the previous tip we've just covered. Play the best hands first, at least until you get experience in the game and profitable. Target the nuts. Making a very strong but not nut hand in Pot Limit Omaha is one of the easiest ways to lose a lot of money. Sounds strange, right? If you're used to Hold'em, where hands like the second or third best flush on a non-paired board will quite frequently win the pot, in Pot Limit Omaha, things are different. In Pot Limit Omaha, unless you have the nuts, or at least a very good draw to the nuts, you should be very cautious about putting a lot of money in the middle. For example, if you have a king high flush and your opponent is forcing the issue, more often than not, they're probably holding the ace high flush. This is where experience comes to play. knowing to read the players and the game, feel it, to know when to fold and when to bet big. Don't chase weak draws. Never chase weak draws in Pot Limit Omaha, especially if you're not even drawing to the nuts. When you do hit your miracle card and make your hand, you'll still have a hard time extracting enough value from it, and you'll still have to be careful about running into the nuts. Even when you do have a draw to the best possible hand, but there are only a few outs to make your hand, don't risk too much money. In Pot Limit Omaha, you'll often flop huge draws with 12, 13 or even more outs, so there is absolutely no reason to get married to weak draws with just 5 or 6 outs. Don't give free cards. If you have a strong but vulnerable hand in Pot Limit Omaha, you should always protect it by continuation bet and raising. Example, let's say you're holding a nut flush and you have the best possible hand at the moment, but that can easily change if the board pairs on the turn or the river, especially if you're up against 2 players or more. What should you do? When you know you have the nuts, your opponents are most likely drawing, you have to charge them the maximum and protect your equity. Don't give them free cards and don't allow them to make the best hand. The strength of combo draws. You'll play many big pots in Pot Limit Omaha, and often you'll get your chips in the middle without actually having a made hand. The reason is because combo draws are extremely powerful in Omaha and can often have more equity than fairly strong made hands. You should understand and know just how powerful these combo draws are, as they give you chances to hit straight several different ways, a flush, and sometimes even a full house. When you have a very powerful draw, you should be willing to put money in the middle and take your chances even if you don't technically have a made hand. But bet responsibly and know when to chase your cards and draws. Choose your draws wisely. Avoid bluff catching. Trying to pick off someone's bluff in Hold'em is a fairly standard play you can make every now and again, especially if you have a good read on your opponent. In Pot Limit Omaha, especially on the lower stakes, try not to bluff and play your hands in a more straightforward way. When people bet big into you on the river, they usually have the nuts or very close to it. Trying to bluff them off the pot with weak hands will not be a good strategy in the long run, and there are much better spots in which you can make money in this game. Pot Limit Omaha is a high variance game. No matter how good you get with time, how experienced you are in poker, Pot Limit Omaha will always be a higher variance game than Texas Hold'em. This is because people see more flops, there's more play, so short-term swings are bigger. There's not much you can do to counter this fact, other than coming up with a more conservative bankroll management plan and play strong hands, the nuts, or drawing huge hands and the nuts. This will ensure you get through any short-term variance and keep the grind going. Play smart and patiently, and the profit will come. Thank you for watching. Reminding you to like our video if you enjoyed it and subscribe to support our channel. We truly appreciate it. Don't forget to visit our site, claim your bonuses, check our promotions, and start playing the hottest casino games today. Have a great and winning day.